Zach Dooley and Scott Burnside here following Game 3 between the Kings and the Oilers. Now, Scott, first setback of the series for the LA Kings. They took games 1 and 2 at home. They come into Edmonton. They play a pretty good game. Don't think there's any denying that, but they come up just short. Your takeaways from a pretty exciting Game 3.
Yeah, I go back to what Andrzej Kopitar said earlier today. Did not have it on his bingo card that we'd have 30 goals scored through 3 games in this series. I think it's one of those things that when you look at the Kings maybe not getting the start that they wanted, and you have to take away the positives, the fact that they came back, obviously took a 1-goal lead into the third period. You know, I know Jim Hiller didn't see the team as playing too passively in the third, but the Oilers definitely dominated zone time before Evander Kane's sort of momentum-changing goal and the challenge of that goal afterwards, which led to the game-winning goal. But I think there's still lots to take away from this series. And players we talked to today asked, if we told you 10 days ago you'd be up 2-1, chance to push the Oilers to the brink in Game 4, chance to clinch at home in Game 5, every single player and the coaching staff would have taken it. And I think that's the mindset going into Sunday's Game 4.
So the Oilers came out hot, right? They jumped out to an early 2-0 lead. But the Kings didn't look phased. They didn't look troubled. They looked calm and collected as they worked themselves back into the game. What did you like most about the way that the Kings kind of handled and carried themselves in that 2-0 hole that let you know the moment not too big in that situation?
Well, and I think the fact that it just stayed 2-0, right? And we've seen this in the past sometimes. You know, previous incarnations of this Kings team might have been buried by the Oilers, right? The Oilers are a dynamic offensive team. Everyone knows that. But the fact that the score remained 2-0, I thought through the last half of the first period and certainly into the second period, the Kings took the play. They had the greater scoring chances. We saw Adrian Kempe, goal-scoring, points collecting machine, do his work at the end of the first period. As Jim Hiller pointed out today, could have been more by the end of the first period. And I thought that was just, it not only sends a message internally to the bench that you are in this game, but it sends a message to the Oilers that we're not going away, and I think the Oilers understand that now.
They certainly do, right? It's a back-and-forth game, a back-and-forth series, and now we're on to Game 4. And we talked about kind of a hero in Games 1 and 2. It was Phil Deneau, then it was Adrian Kempe. Who is your X factor going into Game 4 at Rogers Place?
You know, the guy that I'm looking forward to, he was so good at the games at home. Warren Foegele, of course, playing his old team. No one wants to do more, and I think has shown throughout this season the ability to elevate his play against elite competition. I think Warren Foegele playing on that line with Phil Deneau and Trevor Moore, I think he's poised for a big breakout game, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if we see some Warren Foegele heroics in Game 4.
A Warren Foegele, you might say. Now, Scott, I'm going to go with Alex Laferriere because It's a similar type of pick, right? The Kings need guys who aren't on that top power play unit to put the puck in the back of the net. Their big guns have produced pretty much all series long. The secondary guys have played very well, but I thought that Laferriere had his best chances of the series to get on the board in Game 3. Thought he was pretty dangerous when he had the puck on his stick in the offensive zone. So it's going to be a guy like a Foegele, a guy like a Laferriere, who's able to provide that secondary and depth scoring and maybe put this team over the edge in a Game 4.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Alex Laferriere. No one has taken more punishment, maybe Quentin Byfield, but Alex Laferriere has taken some punishment in this series. He gets up every time. He never retaliates, and I'm with you. I thought he was excellent in Game 3. That's a good choice by you that he could be the breakthrough hero in Game 4.
Two good X factors for Game 4, 6:30 Pacific. Game 4 tomorrow night in Edmonton. Kings with a 2-1 series lead. Chance to make it 3-1.